Welcome to Feed the Seed to Succeed, where we keep our conversations and our lives positive and move things forward. Let's start the show and introduce each other. I am Fungus.
I'm T Stu. What it do? What it do?
And my name is Edwin Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of an organization called CHORDS Academy of the Arts, also known as CHORDS Hip Hop Shop, right here in the city of San Bernardino. I'm also the president of the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee, and I'm also the VP of Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce Inland Cities East, and other stuff that I do. But those are my main titles. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, man, before we get to all of this stuff, because I want to elaborate on each one of the things that you do, But
Mhm.
why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Growing up in San Bernardino, you from San Bernardino, right?
Well, you know what? You can say that I'm from San Bernardino. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people do think I'm actually from San Bernardino, but I actually came out here when I was 14 years old. So
Okay.
I came from pretty much Los Angeles County. I grew up in LA,
Mm-hmm.
and then I later on moved to San Fernando Valley, and then from San Fernando Valley, then I ended up in the city of San Bernardino. So I went to middle school out here. I went to Arrowview Middle School, and then I went to San Bernardino High School. Um, and so pretty much you can say that I've pretty much been out here ever since then. Like I lived in different counties and stuff like Riverside and stuff like that, but I always gravitate, back to the city of San Bernardino because this is where I feel like home is.
No, that's real. That's real. Man, that's
Right.
interesting. I didn't even know that. What's crazy is I was born in San Fernando Valley. Nobody never know
Mm,
that. You know what I mean?
right.
So like,
Yeah.
that's what's up. That's good to know. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, I know you do a lot of work with the youth. Chords. To explain chords. What is chords?
CHORD stands for creating hopeful opportunities and resiliency by developing skills, right? And so pretty much like when I started CHORDS program, it was pretty much a spinoff of what I experienced, when I was younger in the city of San Bernardino, growing up in poverty, growing up as a homeless teen, family was a little unstable, unbalanced and stuff like that. And so I was able to connect with an after school program that was, ran by a couple of my mentors, Tom Dolan, like I know you know him, and also a man we call PK. Pretty much so. When I was in this after school program, like they fed us and stuff like that, because we didn't really have like food or nothing at home to eat. So we ended up going to this church, to where we can actually, have a meal every single day, besides the meal that we had at school, right? And so I ended up connecting, with this church, and like little did I know that, this church slash after school program I was at, was really going to be a life changer for me because when I was there, like I met some solid people, because like growing up, for me, growing up in the streets of LA and in the hood of San Fernando Valley, it's probably ain't no hoods out there now, but in the hood of San Fernando Valley during that time, you know, um, we was taught not to trust white people. Like, that's what my family taught me. Like that's what the streets taught me, like, pretty much like we was taught not to trust white people. So when I came out to San Bernardino and really, got this experience, like it was like literally two white men that actually, helped me and like empowered me and kind of planted those seeds, for me to be where I'm at today. And like even they actually was the first ones that to ever like introduce me to a computer. It was a Dell computer, and then my mentor Tom, he taught me desktop publishing, right? Because we used to have this newspaper called Reality Check, and during that time, I think I was using Adobe PageMaker, and I was only like 16, 15 years old, putting out this newspaper. But it was a dope opportunity because from me, exploring a computer, like I discovered that I can record music on there, through a software, right? And like I was self-taught, when it came to that. And like when I came out here, I was kind of headed in the wrong direction, kicking it with, people who I shouldn't have kicked it with at that time. And so when I started, you know, doing music and stuff like that, like, it kind of kept me centered. It kept me locked in. Like it kept me hungry. I wanted to do music because I felt like, like I wanted to be, like a rap star. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to really, be out there. And so I was able to find a way to record music, and then I started recording my homeboys, right? And so like, like the content and stuff that we talked about then, like it wasn't, like it is now. But little did I know that, like the stuff that I was talking about was like healing me. It was like healing my mind. It was like, it was like manifesting things, that was, that I really wanted my life to actually look like in the music, right? And so, those things started to come to fruition, and I just started, changing. My mindset started changing. And then too, like with my mentors, they started introducing me to different things like community activism. And they started taking us out the city and really, doing certain things. So for me, that, like that made me escape, mentally, even though we was living in poverty and like and like really struggling at that time. Like those opportunities made me really forget, that, we was actually going through this traumatic situation. And so I took that, and that's how I created my program. Like, really this is a God thing for me. Like, like this is something that God put in my heart, and like God allowed me to experience those things while I was in that program, and and actually those people to be able to build what I've built today. We 12 years now going, right? So
That's right.
12 years, empowering kids, and like, I don't think if I wouldn't have experienced those things that I wouldn't have known what I know today about the youth. And so that's why I'm able to make the connection with, kids in the community, kids in the juvenile hall, kids that are on probation, because I understand, because I was once where they were, right? And so
Man,
and so um and so with the music and like the content creation and like the production, because that's what we do inside the program. We do music videos, we do content creation, we do production, we do dance, we do showcases. Um, you know, that's really only like the carrot to actually get the kids motivated. Because the core part of the program is to help them develop mentally. It's to help them, to actually have the self-confidence that they need to be successful, right? And so through the music, and then through the content creation, they're actually empowering themselves, because they're talking about their history, they're talking about things that they experienced, they're talking about things that, they possibly want to come out of, right? And so and so like that's why we use that, like the content part, not to just say, hey, you can be a rapper, like I was thinking growing up, but to actually help them to be able to overcome different challenges in their lives.
nah, absolutely, man. That's what's up. Shout out to Tom Dolan. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? For real, he's a good guy, man. I see you
Right.
see when I see you see, we see. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nah, straight up, straight up. Now, you know what's interesting is that me and Fungus, we first started off working together after the homeless feedings, teaching youth how to create art.
Mm,
This is how me, this what me and Fungus did for like 2 years. You know what I
mm,
mean? We hosted a thing, we hosted workshops at the Blood Orange Info Shop. The homeless
mm,
feeding was right across the street at one of the churches the ICUC worked at, called First
mm,
Congregational Church. You know what I
mm,
mean?
okay.
And I
Yep.
got the connect. Well, I didn't get the connection. I wasn't at ICUC when we first started this, but this is where I met the person who was working at ICUC, was through doing this type of work. And it's just noteworthy. Like even the kids that we was mentoring back then, I still keep in contact with still to this day.
Right.
And
That's important.
yeah,
Hmm.
and when they graduated and now they got kids and all this type of stuff, man, it just touches my heart. You know what I mean? To know, like, like when they did graduate, they highlighted, like, how, like being a positive impact, how you can, put positive trajectory on a child's life. So man, I take my hat off. I ain't got no hat on today, but normally I'm a guy who wear hats all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you, I had to stay off. You feel me?
That's
You
what's
know,
up. Yeah.
yeah, man. So now, thank you for all what you do on that aspect. I think you said like, and I think this is important to the next thing is that you said like with all the poverty that go on, this is why it's
Mhm.
important that you're a part of you said the Black Chamber of Commerce. So
Right.
explain some of that. Tell me about the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so Black Chamber of Commerce, Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce in the city east, is pretty much a organization that connects business minded people, right? You can be, I mean, you don't have to be business minded because it's it's a great experience, but I recommend that like people join the chambers if you're business minded because it's a network of people that have their own businesses, they have their own companies, and then like Rich Wallace says, who's the president of the Black Chambers, he says from the desert to the sea. So there's 14 different chapters that we have in Long Beach, Hollywood, Moreno Valley, San Bernardino, Riverside, High Desert, all these different chapters where, it's like-minded people where we're connecting each other and we're a big network of people that are utilizing our resources, right? That we have within our big old chapters that we have, right? So we have over 1,400 members. Um, I'm probably minimizing that. It's probably more than that, um, but pretty much we get together and we focus on like community things, as far as like highlighting people in the community, that are doing great things, bringing the community together, supporting businesses that just recently opened. We come out, we do the ribbon cutting, we do all these different things, and we put on youth entrepreneur events. We put on we actually do the MLK event out here in the city of San Bernardino. We're doing a Black History Parade. So we're just connecting the community with these positive, uplifting events. Also, we're connecting community to business-minded people. Like even if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, joining the chambers will actually give you that insight of like what other people are doing and like how they did it, right? From taxes, if you need a 501c3, you need all these different things. We have that in our network for the Black Chambers, and you don't have to be Black to join the Black Chambers. I just want to throw that out there, right? And so and so pretty much like I've been part of the chambers for about 2 years, 1 year as the VP. And so like I can say like, like my connections and my network has been crazy, just, really understanding, like as an entrepreneur, like how to really make these gears go, right? Because sometimes it's hard, like sometimes you run out of ideas. And so when you run out of ideas, who do you go to, right? You go to somebody that's doing it bigger than you on a larger scale. And that's how you get to know more, right? And so having that network and that community of people has just been very beneficial. And I would say like if anybody want to join the chambers, like now is the time to like it's a $200 membership fee, but you don't have to pay it all up front. So that's the good thing about it.
Nah, it takes a village. It takes a village. You know what I mean? And it seems like on many different levels, you are that village. You know what I mean? You're working with the youth. You know what I mean? To build upward mobility. You're talking about building economic empowerment. You know what I mean?
Right.
While still advocating and keeping it centered. You know what I mean? Like Dr. King marching and stuff like that. Like like that's rich,
Right.
that's rich, that's true richnesses, you know what I mean, because it's about like in the world that we live in, like you said, like we need this,
Right.
it's like the oppression through music, oppression through everything else is out there, but what you're doing, you know what I mean, is speaking to a spirit. And
Right.
I
Right.
think
Right.
I just last weekend. It hadn't even been a
Mhm.
weekend. It was on. I want to say Saturday. I met Cornel West. I met
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
he's running for president and all that stuff. But he was at an event about justice reform. And he had already scheduled to be there before he announced that he was going to be president. So he stuck to the topic that he was on, right? But one of the things that he said that I find so interesting, and that's why I commend what you're doing, right? Is he was saying that growing up back in the days, the music was created to deal with the oppression that people was facing at the time. So
Sugar
like,
Hill Gang and all that.
come on, you know, Otis. He talking about a
Yeah.
caravan of love. You know what I mean? Love train.
Fast.
You know,
What is it? Fast Five and the Furious and all.
yeah, man.
The Furious Five. Yeah.
Man, he said it like, you know, like the music, the blues, it was a catastrophe that was going on, but like the music was made for you to be able to deal with the hard times that was situated. That's why you could hear the melody, you could hear the pain, the everything up in the music. You know what I mean? And like you know, and like he was saying that, like, you know, nowadays, like the music is the tenderness is gone.
Right.
He said the tenderness is gone. You know,
for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and two, like, you know, like what we gotta understand is, like, you know what I'm saying, like our thoughts become our reality. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so if we're thinking about, you know, like what's in the music, you know, it's sitting in our subconscious minds. And so like we don't even know that we're, like, you know, like thinking about these things all day because it's already instilled in our brains, right?
Right.
And so that's why, you know, like when people listen to music, you know, it starts to influence our emotions and stuff like that. You know, it starts to influence, you know, our thoughts, you know. So I always say, like, you know, we have to be careful of like what we put in our minds, right? Because even though we're just like, nah, I'm just listening to music, like, nah, like, you know, like we're actually living this, in our mind is like downloading these things. And so we're giving that energy that the music is giving, right? Subconsciously, you know what I'm saying? So like we don't even know that we're doing that, or like we don't even know that it's affecting our day because we may have listened to it like 3 hours ago, but it's still in our minds. And so, like, you know, we took up that emotion. So now that we're connected to that emotion in the music, our day is all off. Our thoughts is all off. We're stuck on the past now. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell kids, like, you have to really be careful about what you're thinking about and like what your thoughts are taking in. Right. Because even though we probably turned it off, it became a memory for us. So now it's like in our body. And so our body is like emotionally acting to what we heard earlier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy because I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand that. You know what I mean?
But you had a calling though, brother. You had a calling. You know what I mean? Like that calling was hollering. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like and what I'm saying is that just that, like, everything I hear about you and the fact that you're doing music with the youth, you know, it gives me hope.
Right.
You know what I mean? It gives me hope. It makes me warm and fuzzy in the inside. You know what I mean? That like somebody knows, because music, you know, it's like a heartbeat. You know, I feel like my heartbeat to a rhythm. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
So like, you know, the music, like you said, your thoughts, your heartbeat's the beat, boom, 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 boom. But your brain is the lyrics. You know, and it's like the way you vibe, you know, and it's like, you know, like you said, like, you know, at least you're educating people and you're teaching them and you know, teach them how to do music videos and everything else. Like still to this day, that could make a lasting impact. You know, the magazine, the zines that y'all made when you was a kid through the computer. You know, I got them.
You do?
I do. I got. It's in my filing cabinet. If I had more time, I will pull them out on you. You know what I mean?
Man, that's crazy.
Because I worked with Tom. You know, I worked with Tom for years. You know, and Tom was showing me just the same story that you was telling me. Tom was telling me from his version, you know, and Tom always was like, you know, I think you and Edwin, y'all, man, y'all need to get together. He always promoted that, you know what I mean? So like, it's like, you know, it's like what you were saying with that music is in words and thinking, you speak stuff into existence.
Right.
You put that out there, you know, in the aura, you know what I mean? And then like, then it manifests and it comes together. Tom
Right.
spoke this a long time ago that he wanted to work together, and like
Right. Right.
it's to this day, you know what I mean? Is that so? Like and it's creating a freedom, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like we're using each other's. I want you to put the education out there so the people that do hear that can manifest in their brain, you know, that there's
Right.
somebody out here to destroy the negative of what music is, to destroy the
Right.
negative stigma of like who brothers is. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Is that we coming together, you know what I mean? Like both trying to get the job done. So
Right. Mhm.
we're causing freedom. So in reference to freedom, let's talk about Juneteenth.
Oh man, Juneteenth is actually is going down, man. This Saturday coming up.
Come
This
on.
Saturday at San Bernardino Valley College. We've been I've been a part of Juneteenth events out here since 2015. We used to work with the diocese, the San Bernardino diocese, because they will put it on first. But 2 years ago, we actually started our own Juneteenth committee. I say we're all like the X-Men because everybody has their own individual strength in the group, right? And so there's a bunch of nonprofits and business owners that came together, to put together the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee. And so the goal for that was to actually, have one giant Juneteenth event, right? In the city of San Bernardino. And so last year we did it. We probably had about 5,000 people there, um, over 150 vendors. We was giving away skateboards. We partnered with DGK at that time. We partnered with the city. Before Helen Tran was the mayor, she was one of our sponsors. Joe Baca was a sponsor, Eloise Reyes, Chase, so many different outlets, supports and resources that we had last year. So this is our second annual. This one is actually where we actually gave it a theme, which is the Stomp the Yard edition. So we're honoring the Divine Nine um, for this event. They're going to stroll. Dina Walker is our keynote speaker from the Blue Foundation. We just got some awesome, amazing talent coming out. We got the Bromatics, Dare Dance Company, More the Songstress, so many different artists that are coming out. But what we're trying to do with these events is to educate people on the history of Juneteenth and like why it came about and like why it's so important for us to celebrate. And it's not just for African Americans. I always say like it's for other people to actually learn the history and like learn why it's so significant and why it should be celebrated every year. Last year, they actually made it a federal holiday. You know, and so people can actually get off of work and really relax and really I would say like do your research on it, right? Like do your research on the Emancipation Proclamation and like all those different things that that's historically connected to African American communities. Even though we have the festivities, we have the fun time, we got the domino tournament, we got the pie eating contest, we got all these different things. We have the educational piece, that's that we're really focused on and that we really want to stand out for this event. We've been planning it for about 6 months now, so it's going to be an amazing event. And if you run to volunteer, let me know because we definitely need volunteers. All you got to do is register and then show up, and then we're gonna make it happen. Shouts out to my team though, doing an amazing job.
Nah, right on with the right on.
Hmm.
I was there last year.
Hmm.
And what's crazy is I ran into a man named Ryan. Ryan with San Bernardino Fatherhood.
Okay,
And
Ryan. Yeah, yeah, I know Ryan. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I ended up participating in that program for a whole year behind Juneteenth.
That's
When it
crazy. Yeah, that's
when
what's
it
up.
comes to black not black, just fatherhood period.
Right.
I did the program twice, and
Mm.
then he registered for me to be a new father coach. So like
Wow.
I
What?
mentor new
Okay.
fathers, and
Nice. Yeah.
like that's the freedom. You know what I mean? It's ongoing. It's
Right. Each one
it,
teach one, man. Come
for
on.
come on, man, teamwork
Hmm.
make the dream work. And it like
Right.
and it was cool because a lot of these fathers is having like, you know, it's a lot of people who are going through struggles as new fathers. And like, you know, I've been a father for my kids. I mean, I ain't like old like that, but like, you know, my kids is 13. My oldest is 13. I got a newborn and one in the in between. So I got kids at different age levels, and it's been rich to share my experience as a person like me. You know,
Right.
I'm hip hop still. I'm not all the way you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jazz. You know, I mean, well,
Yeah.
jazz is good too, but you know what I mean. I'm not all the way up there, like you know. So you know, it's been rich to deal with the people, and I met them there, and then I still got fatherhood shirts and all types of stuff that I got from there. It was rich. Well, we had a booth last year as well. My group Time Done, you know, and
Yeah.
my man Gilbert Johnson, he came on this show
Okay,
before
Gilbert.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has spoken to in a room and stuff to do some education on the work that we
Right.
do, and I think it's important because the work that we do is around um prison reform and people living with past convictions, you know, because of the
Right.
13th Amendment, they say the only people that's subject to involuntary servitude, which is slavery, is people that have a criminal conviction. So we're still fighting for freedom. You
Right.
know, even though we reached, you know what I mean, this Juneteenth and we're going to celebrate it and we're going to fight and we're going to build to be more powerful so that we can end and break every chain. You know what I
Come
mean?
on. Factual, man. Yeah. Yeah. And it's special, man, because like I said before, like they recently made it like a federal holiday. So that's special because for so many years that's what people tried to do. Like people tried to make it like a day where everybody can actually celebrate it. And so last year it had passed, and counties and cities started recognizing it. It's a beautiful thing because um when we first celebrated it, they did a proclamation, for us, for the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee.
Mm.
So the support is dope. And then like it's not just our event now, like there's other Juneteenth events that's going on in the city where people are coming together and in a unity and spreading the love of Juneteenth.
No, absolutely. And then even at that night, there's Live Free is hosting a comedy show. You know, so like,
Mm,
and they're about breaking chains too. They're about living free. You know, and that's what the
right,
emancipation is. It's about living free. You know,
right,
so like, man, it's going up. It's going up. That's what I'm
right, for
saying.
sure.
You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
factual. Yeah,
Yeah. And then every day in a real way. And in Riverside, they got Juneteenth celebrations too, jumping off at Fairmount Park. So it's
right,
like, you know, it's happening. It's happening, you know, and like the best thing about it is the educational component, right?
right.
Because I used to go to Pomona Juneteenth, like, and I went there for years and years and years, you know, like, but the thing was, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest, that I didn't know what Juneteenth was. I,
Mm,
I was going there to go hang out,
the festivities.
you
Yeah.
know, and I went every single year. It was
Mm,
times when my homies was rappers and we would get booths
mm,
and we would look forward to Juneteenth every year, and I didn't know what it was about,
mm,
you know. So
mhm.
the educational component, and I'm being honest. I'm being
Right.
honest. Now I'm so I feel like I'm conscious. You know what I mean about a lot of different things, but it was at one point in time when I wasn't.
Mhm.
And I went to a Juneteenth celebration every year. I look forward to it. I have my T-shirt made to go there, and you know
Right.
what I mean. Make sure I got my fresh kicks and everything. I was ready for it every year, but I
Mhm.
didn't know what I was celebrating. I didn't
Right.
know why all these people was getting together, and like so the education component of it. Because now when I go, it's not about just dressing up to be fly. It's
Mhm.
about building community,
Right.
like
Mhm.
making connections that last a whole year behind like the Juneteenth celebration that I went to last year. I built relationships with people and been able to
Right.
make like so planting seeds. Like
Mhm.
June celebrate. You become educated now. You're planting seeds, and seeds grow into trees. And
Right.
trees, a bunch of trees grow into forests, and that's what we
Mhm.
need in the community. We need forests. You know what I mean? Because they help us breathe. You
Right.
know, And like Tom Dolan taught me this lesson. I know we probably getting short on time. I see your lips. Tom Dolan told me that, but he said that in the inner city, in the communities, they cut down all our trees.
Mhm.
They cut down all our trees. Like you go to affluent communities, you see trees and all kinds of stuff. But you come to where we at, and you don't see that many trees. And like the thing about trees is that, you know, we need them to breathe. You know, in reference to like all the I can't breathe. You know, so what you're doing is you're planting seeds, brother.
Right.
You're planting seeds in the community where we need it. You
Right.
know, and from that, we're gonna grow forests, brother. We're gonna grow forests together. So man, you stay out there and feed them seeds. That's the name of this show. It's about feeding the seeds, you know,
Feeding the seeds. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
you know, we feed the seed to succeed.
Right.
You know, any last words, bro? I'm gonna hold on, talking about fungus.
No, last words, Edwin. You're good.
Yeah.
Last words is, hey, you know, like, you know, I want to thank y'all, Fungus and Terrence, for having me on the show. And I mean, my last words is for everybody, like, you know, to encourage them to, you know, like, you know, work on your inner self, you know, like work on your mental, you know, like stay consistent, you know, like really, you know, because in order for us to change our reality, we have to change our mindset, you know, because our thoughts become our actions, right? And so even in our minds, you know, like, you know, we could think negative and, you know, certain past traumas and like all these different things, but like that doesn't have to be our reality, even though we experience those things, because those things was like used for just an experience for us to grow and be our best self. So work on yourself, man. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say.
And what do we reach you at?
Y'all can just text me 909-723-0480. Hit me up.
Right on, right on. And we're just for informational purpose. And where's the Juneteenth at? The
It's
celebration
at
at?
San Bernardino Valley College. It's at San Bernardino Valley College on Mount Vernon. So that's going to happen from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also we're having the Juneteenth after party at night at Celebrity Sports Grill. So hit me up. Text me. I'll give you all the information.
Right on with the right on, man. You keep it going, brother.
Is
All
there
right.
a
I
website,
appreciate y'all.
Edwin? Is there a website where people can check out?
Yeah, CHORDSacademy.org. So CHORDS, like music chords, CHORDSacademy.org.
Right on, right on.
All right.
Yep.
Well, this has been the Feed to Seed to Succeed radio show, and keeping everything positive. And thank you, Edwin, for joining us.
I appreciate y'all.
Man,
All right, thank
appreciate
you.
you.
You have a blessed day. Take care. All right,
Yes,
peace.
sir.